the walls. We're breaking free. Yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression. It's out for liberty. Breaking free. Yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts. We're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. We're claiming our land, yeah.
What is up, Cash?
Man, same game, bro. I love that intro. Every time I hear it, I just be back here dancing. I don't know if you see me, but I be back here just going, you know? It's good. I love it.
Can you see Terry? Well, Terry's not on camera tonight, but Terry backstage does the Ron Paul "It's Happening."
Yeah.
That's a very famous libertarian meme that I had to co-opt to kick it off here.
Bernie Sanders, he's not a libertarian, is he?
Oh no.
Yeah, he's like
socialist.
super Democrat now. Like
pretty hardcore socialist.
Yeah.
So do you know what a libertarian is?
It's not a Democrat or a Republican, I'm assuming. I'm just kidding.
Right. So
yeah, I know what a libertarian is. You guys are all about freedom. Freedom from everything, literally. Like you don't want no government interference at all, no taxes, things like that, right?
Well, so there's different flavors of libertarian, and like Ron Paul's a minarchist, or someone for minimal government, and they believe that the government should do basically what it says in the Constitution. Where I'm more of an ANCAP or an anarchist, where I think that people are smart enough to rule themselves and that everything should be voluntary. So if you want to, send foreign aid somewhere, feel free to do it. Just don't send my money. And, so there's different things, but there's this famous chart developed by David Nolan, who founded the Libertarian Party a little over 50 years ago. And it's called the Nolan chart. And basically on one axis is economic freedom. And at the bottom would be total economic freedom. And at the top would be legislated equality, like what the Democrats are for, where they want to redistribute wealth and they want to, give out welfare, and they want to try to equal everything out with legislation. Yeah. And then on the other part is individual freedom or personal freedom. And on one side, total freedom. And on the other side is legislated morality, which is what like the hardcore far right, what we used to call the religious right, what they're for, where they want to legislate morality, where, drugs are illegal, gambling's illegal, all of those types of things. And the closer you are to, the bottom, corner here from my example, and, the more libertarian you are. So I'm for total personal freedom and total economic freedom. I think that you should be able to, you guys had the gun debate the other day. I think you should be able to own whatever guns you want. You shouldn't have to register them. You shouldn't have to have a background check. No red flag laws, no waiting periods,
Is that why you kept putting in the comments, Cash, you're not a libertarian?
Maybe.
I was like, what does he mean? What does he mean by that? I never claim to be a libertarian. I'm not a libertarian.
Well, no, and also that's the name of our game show that Casey's been on several times.
Ah,
So the name of the game show is "You Aren't a Real Libertarian," and that's
ah,
also kind of a famous libertarian thing where libertarians argue about who's a real libertarian. And so,
gotcha.
like someone that's hardcore like me, that's basically an anarchist.
Right.
Like I'm so much of an anarchist, like I'm almost not a libertarian because I don't believe in any government intervention. I don't really believe in voting, to be honest with you. I think voting is
Damn.
mob rule. I think voting's mob rule, right? What
Whoa.
When we founded this country, not to pick on you because you're black, but when we founded this country, people thought slavery was okay, and the majority thought
Yeah, but
slavery was okay. That's mob
evolution.
rule.
We evolved.
We have evolved, but right now we think it's okay to go bomb foreign countries for profit, and I don't think that's cool. And
I
we
don't
also
think we think that. The government thinks that.
well, right, but we've allowed the government to get so big that we really have no say. So by the time for the federal government, like if you look at like the Senate race in Ohio, they spent like over $500 million just on TV ads. So the chance of getting a senator elected that's not part of the machine is like nearly impossible. You're
Yeah.
more likely to get hit by lightning while getting bit by a shark. Like,
Gotcha.
so like you get like really good candidates and they get completely blown out of the water because the GOP or the Democrats know that they're not going to just vote party lines like they want them to.
Yeah.
And so to get somebody elected to a federal office is nearly impossible. To get like a pro freedom person, that's why we all are so complimentary of like Thomas Massey and Rand Paul to a lesser degree,
Yeah.
because they actually go against people, and like you saw with Massey got primaried by a candidate backed by APAC, right? So I mean they want Massey gone because he doesn't do what they tell him to do. He doesn't
I
vote the
get
way
it.
they tell him to vote. They call him Mr. No because he votes no on everything. And they asked him one time, why do you vote no on everything? And he said, well, because I read the bills. Like if you read
Mm,
the bills, they're poorly written. They're, the ideas behind them are faulty. They're unconstitutional. They have
yeah.
no idea how they're going to fund it. The math is sketchy. He's like, if you read any of these to detail, they're a disaster. Why would I vote yes for that just because the party tells me to? But
Right.
notice also, he's not the head of any committees. He's not, being mentioned for a cabinet spot. He's not, he's completely been put in isolation because he's standing up for, his constituents and luckily for the rest of us. But,
Yeah.
there's only one Massey and, the rest are, people that just vote party lines.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely not a libertarian. I can tell you that. I'm definitely not. That's for sure. Huh?
Which part of personal freedom or economic freedom
Well,
do you
because
think
personal.
you
Here's the
go
thing.
away from me on?
Here's the thing. People have personal freedom, right? But we make laws to say some of the things that you want to do are wrong. Some of the things that you would like to do in life are wrong and don't benefit the rest of the people around you. So having laws makes it to where it's okay. Yeah, you still have your personal freedom, but if you do this in this country, we're going to lock you up. So I'm not for people just having their own personal freedoms because I've seen firsthand, especially using January 6th as an example, people using their freedom, their personal freedom for the wrong thing. So yeah, that's I can't get with that. I mean, I love the whole thought of somebody being able to own a firearm and all of that. That's all good, but I disagree. I think that there should be a check on somebody's mental stability for sure.
But who
People
gets
need
to
it.
pick what their mental stability threshold is? Like who gets
And
to
it
set
depends on
that
the state.
standard?
I don't know, the state.
Is it the same people that that are picking the curriculum in the schools that everybody hates?
Probably. I mean, that's why I'm saying this is why I think it's a good thing Trump getting back in office because we're about to see a revamp of all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. There's never going to be anything that's perfect. We're never going to have a perfect system. It's not going to be perfect. We're trying to get it to the best that it can be. And that's why I'm happy as hell that Trump's in office. I believe we're going to get it back to the best that it can be without, because they're just how you're on that side of the argument. There's other people on the other side of the argument that think that everything that you just said is horrible. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's crazy. I don't.
Well,
I like some of the things that you said, but
people are bossing each other around. Like we're a whole society of, excuse me to the women in the crowd, but we're a whole society of Karens who want to boss everybody around and tell them what to do, except if it's them. If it's them,
Right.
they don't want to be bossed
So what
around.
if somebody's
They
personal
want to
freedom?
tell you, like I tweeted today, like, this whole banning food thing, the RFK banning food thing, right? I'm like, that's some Democrat nanny state shit.
Yeah.
Like when did the Republicans become the nanny state? And and so like, and then I said, telling people that poor people are too dumb to know how to feed their kids. I'm like, that's some Obama shit right there. And
I feel you.
so like, even the GOP does it, and like people like bossing each other around, and that's what I call mob rule. It's
Kind
mob
of,
rule
but
where
it's like
people want to
society,
tell other people to live.
But it's civilizations. You think about how far civilizations have progressed. America is literally the epitome of greatness right now, as far as the advancements that have been made, how our society is actually structured, how our country is ran. Even though this last 4 years has been messed up, we're still on the top, and it's because of those rules. It seems like mob rule maybe, but think about it if it wasn't no laws, like how you were just talking about, right? You have your personal freedoms, but what if somebody or a group of people are like, we're the rapers, we're gonna go around and we're gonna do that deed? So then what? And what if they're right? I feel you, but what if they got more of an arsenal than you? What if they have everything superior to you? The manpower, the strength,
What prevents that today?
Laws.
They can't even stop drugs from going
You're
into
right,
prison.
but there's consequences is my thing. There's consequences, and everybody will come to a consensus because we agree upon this law. So everybody would be like, you know what? He broke the law. These people are out of control. You need to step in. And now it's just not on the responsibility of the people. Now we have police. We have, the corrupt feds. We have all of that kind of stuff. And they go in and they handle that. So that's why I say it's like I feel you, but it's like, man, I growing up where I grew up, I seen some fucked up people. That's how I can put it. There's some fucked up people in the world, dog. And
but again, we're talking about voluntarism, which means you can choose to live in a gated community with sniper towers if you want. Like you can choose to do that. In my version of this,
our society would crumble, because then you'd have people, once people see something that they can't go in, they want to. And then people would amass, let's say you amass more wealth than everybody and your community was nicer and nobody was allowed in there. And there's no say, whatever goes on in there goes on in there. You're going to have a group of people on the outside that say, well, we want to go in. And then they might get a larger crowd. Even though you got them sniper rifles, it would turn America into like a third world country. So, that's how I would look at it. The way that our structure is set up is pretty dope. The way the founding fathers laid down the blueprint is pretty dope.
Well, knowing that we're both from a couple miles away from each other in a very, colorful place in America.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear you say that, because like I don't think it could get much worse than what's going on the south side of Chicago, the west side of Chicago,
You're right.
Gary, Indiana.
You're right.
I mean, and I think it's the government's allowing that to happen. And I think that if people had more money in their pockets, more chances for success, I think there'd be less people out there, hustling people and shooting people and trying to earn a decent living.
I don't know.
Why do people sell drugs? Because there's not jobs.
Sometimes, bro, that's not all the way true. That's sometimes true for sure, but there's some people that just want more than you. There's some people that are addicted to committing crime. There's some people, I used to get a thrill when I would ride around bumping Young Jeezy and hustling and thinking about if I was going to go, maybe rob somebody or the pistol play. It used to give me a thrill. Like I used to love doing it because my brain was wired wrong. You see what I'm saying?
But if drugs are legal, you eliminate that whole black market. And so what are
Not
they going to do?
necessarily.
Like sell, shoot each other because they're selling, counterfeit Yeezys or something? I mean, if you eliminate the black market, you eliminate a lot of the problems. You
Somebody will
eliminate
rob it. People again, people just like some people, and not putting a color on this at all. Just people in general. There are some people that are addicted to committing crime, the same way that there's some people like addicted to weird corn. You know what I'm saying? There's some people that are addicted to
Did you say corn?
fighting. Yeah, I don't want to say the P word because we're on YouTube. I don't want to get it taken. There's bad people. That's what we can never. That's why we won't have a perfect
But
society.
government
There's
doesn't
always going to
prevent
be
bad
bad people.
people. But
No, but it gives
we
it.
agree
We
on
give
all
it
of
a
this,
place to lock
except
them up at. We lock them
and
up.
I think not only does the government, well, you could still have places to lock people up in. Like, I'm not saying that, that there's
But how would you lock
anarchy is
them up
not
if there was
law.
no rule?
It's not lawlessness. It's self rule. So you decide to live where you want.
So
The
you
biggest
decide who you
problem
lock
for
up.
me with America is when you're born into America, unless you're going to, give up your citizenship, you're an American whether you like it or not. No matter where you live in America, you're subject to the same federal rules, the same federal income tax. All of those things don't change. You have no choice of where to move
Right.
out of it. What I want is a voluntary system where if taxes are high, like I moved from Illinois to Florida because I think Illinois is going to hell and the taxes are high. Everything was more expensive in Illinois when I moved to Florida. Now Florida's catching up because, of course that's what happens to me. But, you
Right.
know, but like, the there's no state income tax. Um, some of the things were cheaper when I moved down here. So I had that choice. With the federal
Mhm.
government, I don't have that choice. So, when we're talking about like anarcho-capitalism on a federal level, we just want as much of that gone as possible and have the choice of, do we want to live in a police state or do we want to live in the wild, wild west? Like we want to have that choice. And we want others to have that choice. We want people to have freedom, and we don't
I
want
mean,
like
but
the
don't you?
government to be able to get in the way of that.
But don't you like have that freedom to live wherever you want?
No, but all of the federal government's overreach has corrupted every single state at this point. Like the states are basically welfare recipients of the federal government at this point because like they can't even fix their own roads without permission from the federal government.
Right. But
So
isn't Trump
it's
about to
it's
come in and change all of that?
completely flipped from what the founding fathers wanted.
Didn't Trump say he was going to do something about the IRS and federal taxes and all that?
I mean, my take on Trump. He says
I
it one
feel you.
day, the next day he says something completely different. To me, he sounds like a stand-up comedian, like
But if he
workshopping
did,
material.
if he did do it though, you'd be satisfied, right?
Right, but then the next guy will come in and screw it all up. Like
Unless he
there's
puts something
more
in
there's
place.
more bad guys in DC than good guys, and I don't know a single person I've ever met that disagrees with that statement.
I agree.
So I mean, to
Oh,
me,
we got to drain the swamp, bro. We draining the swamp. We getting
well,
all
he was
them.
gonna
We get them out
he
of
was
that.
gonna drain the swamp 8 years ago, and that did not happen.
He
I don't
tried.
know
He had bad
if you
people
heard.
around him, bro. He had some bad.
Well,
He had bad hombres
yeah,
around who did not know they were evil.
This time he's gonna do it. I believe it.
yeah. And
I'm
then he
drinking
picks
the Kool-Aid.
Rubio.
I'm
Then he
drinking
picks
all the
Rubio.
Kool-Aid.
Then he
Rubio?
picks Rubio.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Rubio might have had a change of heart. People ain't above changing. Anybody can change.
He's our senator. I'm pretty familiar with how much I dislike Rubio. So
I feel you. I'm an optimist, man. I'm an optimist.
all right, well, let me. Terry suggested we blow this out, not a whole debate. So let's say hi to some people. What's up, Chris? Hey, Nick's here. Welcome, Nick.
What's up, Nick?
He said, I'm a minimal, maybe minarchist with far maximum libertarian views on certain aspects. Chris says, think of it like this, Cash, go to your car and paint the windshield, rear window, and back window, then try to drive safely and responsibly. If you can
That's
only
real.
see to the left and the right, you won't get far without hurting people.
That's real.
Interesting.
That's very real. I like that. Chris is a wise man. That's my man right there, bro. He's dope.
You're going to have to say the name because I Probably Tennessee Ridge Runner, maybe.
I would go with
What's
it.
up?
I
What's
don't
up,
know.
TRR? I could
I
just
see
go
his face all the
TRR.
time. He's always in the comments. He's dope. That's my mod right there. She's amazing.
Here's the queen. Yep, I saw her. Welcome. She said hi to everybody in the chat. Kettleheads is here. Welcome.
What up, Kettle?
Mary O is here.
Mary.
You bring like my chats, other than Terry and OB, my chats are a sausage party, and you bring like all the cool ladies. So you do it all better than me, Cash.
I don't know why
you do
that
it all
is.
better than me.
Hey,
Hi,
Sharon.
Sharon. Welcome.
Sharon's dope. All my people in my
Patrice.
chat are dope, man. I got good people.
I know. Like, look at this is all women, and like mine are Chris and Nick, and here's OB. My OB's like my first round draft pick. Like
Dope.
that's what I got. So
I love it.
Antifa are not anarchists. They're
Modern day schmatzis.
Yep. They're people that want to force their opinions on other people, particularly by force, are not anarchists.
Kettlehead says they live by me. That's what's up. We got to get up, have a beer. This is tea. This isn't beer, everyone, just so you know.
She's a diehard conservative. Gina's here. Welcome, Gina. Golf in America's here.
Is it true that Florida is America's dumpster? I heard that on Family Guy. I don't know why. I just wanted to ask you that.
So it's an interesting story about Florida. So Florida has the most open Freedom of Information Act laws. And so that's why you hear all the crazy crap from Florida, is because it's accessible.
I
So
love
like
Florida.
Chicago would have all this stuff. You got to come visit me, man.
I'm coming down there. Hopefully,
I have a spare room.
I believe me, bro. When I come, I might use that because I ain't balling out of control yet. One day, I'm getting there.
Oh, you're totally welcome.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be maybe coming down there if they let me off probation, either July or August, because I'm going to North Carolina. So I was thinking about doing a grand tour. You know what I'm saying?
We'll talk deets, man. There's direct flights right from Midway to my place.
Oh no, I'm driving, bro. I want to sightsee.
Oh, driving?
Yeah, I'm gonna drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got like 50 kids, so if I come, they coming too.
You're like me, Cash. Just know people, don't know how the hell to act without any consequences. Well, I mean, this is a consequence, and they're trying to take that from us. So, like, I don't get like y'all's argument on this that that the government's here to help us. The government wants to take our guns and have us eat bugs, and
I feel you.
Wants us to live in pods.
I'm just saying, you never know.
Everybody
anybody
points out the flaws in mine. Like, we know the flaws in yours because we're like literally living.
My answer
today.
is Trump, though. That's my thing. My answer is Trump to come in and do all the things that he said he was going to do. I feel you.
Mitch McConnell threatened to impeach him if he pardoned Julian Assange last time. Like, his own party doesn't even like him.
I totally understand, but it's a whole different ball game. See, before, when Trump got in office, he was hoping that he was going to get a second term. Now he can't run for a second term. He's going to put the fire. He's going to put the fire in the heat. They're going to all feel the heat.
Right, but all of them can run for another term. So they're going to be, flaky, and they're all corrupt too. So like they're all asking for handouts and stuff like that. We'll
I think Trump's going to empower the people, bro. What you're talking about, I think Trump is going to empower the people, and people will be holding. I've got to be careful how I say this, being on federal probation. We have a constitution and Declaration of Independence and all of that. And I think that we're going to see less tyranny moving forward after this Trump administration. I'm just going to leave it like that. Tyranny is done. It's out the window. It's not going to be happening anymore after this presidency. I feel it very deeply that America is about to change in a very big way and for the better. That's it. That's how I feel.
Oh, You beat Terry to it. Everybody share this out, please. Hit the share button. Again, welcome. Say hi to us in the chat. We just started kind of debating right off the bat, and now, yeah, no, I knew that from pretty much day one. She resigned today too, right? Laura Trump. It's Laura, not Laura. So like I know more than you at this point, Terry, apparently. So Laura Trump resigned from the RNC today.
Yeah. Her job was done. She did what she needed to do.
Chris from Chicago.
Chris from Chicago, you right around the way, my bro. You right around the way.
No, north, south, west.
Don't say. I'm just kidding. You know how it is, bro. People do that. They'll be on the outskirts, like, oh yeah, I'm from Chicago. Where at? Aurora. Like, hold on, wait a minute. Joliet. No, bro, that's Joliet. That's not Chicago.
Oh, first time here.
All right, golfing. That's what's up, bro. I appreciate you being here.
Well, I guess we should introduce ourselves if we have a first-time person. Cash, go ahead, man. Introduce yourself.
My name is Cash Lee Kelly. I am a January 6er. I did 36 months, had a 52-month sentence, got out because of the First Step Act, and I'm rebuilding my life. So I had a viral platform. Anytime I went live, it was viral all the time. They deplatformed me. They took my Facebook and my Instagram, which were my largest platforms at the time. And I'm rebuilding, and I still have my YouTube. This is the YouTube that you're watching me on right now, if you're on my YouTube. So I appreciate you guys being here and helping me rebuild this whole thing, get my life back in order, get my life back right. Other than that, man, I'm just a American nationalist that hates race baiting. I can't stand white liberal women, even the pretty ones, which I don't think that's a thing. And yeah, I'm a dad. I love my children. And I'm also the founder of the Streetlights Unity Movement, geared towards keeping kids away from gangs, out the streets, away from drugs, and just giving back to the community. And yeah, that's me. That's me in a nutshell. That's what I do.
Terry still can't talk, so she wanted me to tell you something, and then, oh wait, I'm not going to tell you. Ha ha ha. There you go, Terry. She said, I'm running my mouth off because she can't talk, and payback will be hell.
Nice.
All I did was spell check it. I don't write the news. I just report it. That's all I can say. So I'm free. Everybody calls me free. My original account had free at the beginning, so everybody started calling me free. Got doxxed a couple times, so I just go by that, mostly online, although I keep getting doxxed. So you probably know my name anyways. We've been around a little bit. But yeah, so I do Freedom Uncut, which is where we are today. And basically I'm a ANCAP, libertarian. I care a lot about, I'm anti-war, I'm pro-First Amendment, pro-Second Amendment. I'm for judicial system reform. I'm pro-life, which is kind of unusual for an ANCAP. Actually, it's about 50-50 for libertarians, but probably a little bit less for ANCAPs. But so I host this. I used to do a lot of spaces, and then we moved over here because I've been banned twice by X this year. So I get banned all the time, and I'm about to hit 20,000 followers on here, Cash. So I'm finally rebuilding a little bit.
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, and Cash and I are friends, and so we get to do this, and that's cool. And we met through Casey, who Cash and Casey have been doing shows forever on their channel. Casey's a great guy, absolutely stellar person, and Anthony Russo and the other people you guys work with over there, all like really great people. Really enjoy your show. Truth will set you free, for those of you that don't know, but most of our chat is what appears to be very good-looking women that were brought here by Cash, except for OB. I brought her and Terry, of course, and yeah. So yeah. Happy to have Cash here. Love doing this, and we did great last time. We had a ton of views. So
it's going to get there again. It's going to get there again. Shout out to my bro Will in the comment section, and Jenny T. I appreciate you for being here since the beginning. I really do. All of y'all that's been here with me since the beginning and came and found me. Bro, less than less than 10% of the people that used to follow me know that I'm free from prison right now. Every show that I do, I get people in the comments later on, oh my God, is this live? I can't believe you're back. All this. I'm like, yo, I've been back since February. I've been back. I'm just rebuilding. And I got a little buffer, you know? So probably don't recognize me or something. I don't know. I'm thinking you missed
Welcome,
this.
kitty cat. Yeah, so yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I think that the sentences were so harsh that that people probably think that you're still locked up. But let's get into that. So
Let's do it.
that's what we're here to talk about today. Today, Cash and I decided we were going to talk about Cash's experience, basically, from beginning to end on January 6th, and give you like kind of his whole story. And to paraphrase what Cash said last time, with the Biden regime on the way out, he's a little bit more willing to open up about his experiences because obviously retribution was a big deal and lawfare was a big deal with the Biden regime, and so I'm very grateful that he decided to share that with us, and excited to get it out there because this is something that means a lot to me. Like I said, with reform of the judicial system and the prison industrial complex and the school to prison pipeline that we have going on in this country. I want all of that fixed or done away with. So Cash, let me start from the beginning.
All right.
Tell us a little bit about your life before January 6th.
How far back? Like from a kid or as an adult?
Wherever you think the story starts.
All right. Well, I'll tell you how it starts. All right. So how it started, I was on my porch and I was watching a video, and my guy is in Hammond, Indiana. I see my guy with a whole bunch of BLM protesters, and he's standing toe to toe with the police officers. And the police officers got like, their little riot gear. And I hear him saying some crazy stuff to the police and all these protesters that are not from where we were from. At that time, I grew up in Hammond, Indiana. Let me make that clear. I was born in East Chicago, raised in Hammond, Indiana. And it was basically my hometown. That's what I consider to be my hometown, is Hammond, Indiana. And when I seen this video, I'm like, why the hell is he standing toe to toe with these police officers when we know these police officers and we have a good police force in Hammond, Indiana? They're great. And a lot of them we consider like friends, part of the community. They were good dudes, especially the officer that he was cussing out. So it pissed me off. And at this time, I'm still very rough around the edges. I'm a great father, but I left the gangs alone, and I'm still very like rugged, right? So I was pissed seeing this because I'm like, this is one of my best friends, and this is a police officer that I know and love. Like, he's a good dude. And I got online on Facebook and I snapped off. I just made this video, and this video was like, when I went live, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait for some people to show up. Okay, I got 7 people, you know what I'm saying? And I go live and I start going off and telling them, that this is stupid. You're over here protesting with people that aren't from our community, not seeing the race bait that's going on, not seeing what they're trying to do, trying to get you guys at odds. They had sandbags blocking the highway at the time. It was crazy. And I woke up the next morning, not thinking nothing of it. And this video went viral. I'm talking about millions of views overnight. I did that video at like 7:00 at night. And when I woke up in the morning time, it was literal millions. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, yo, I just went viral. This is crazy. And so then people started hitting me up in my inbox and they're like, hey, how do you feel about Black Lives Matter? And da-da-da. I'm like, I'll make a video about that. So I'm like, you got to strike the iron while it's hot type deal. So I go in and sit in my car and I think about it. And I go live and I made a video, Black Lives Matter, but when are Black lives gonna matter to us? And that video went more viral than the other video. It got shared by like Ted Nugent, Mark Levin, the Hodge twins, Candace Owens, David Harris, Terrence Williams, just all kind of different conservative voices, and social media influencers, which at the time it was very unpopular to have the belief system that I had about BLM, about, relationships between the police and the community, and not having that black rage, I guess, towards the certain topics that incite people. So that video goes crazy. And then I get more questions. Hey, are you a Democrat or a conservative? I'm like, yo, I'm a Democrat. And they're like, you're not a Democrat. I'm like, yeah, I am. They're like, no, bro, you're not a Democrat. How do you feel about abortion? I said, I think abortion's stupid. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be killing babies. And they were like, okay, how you feel about capitalism? I said, it's the greatest thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets to make some money. You get to hustle. It's fair. You're a free trade. And they're like, okay, how you feel? And they start asking me this barrage of questions. And then they asked me about Trump. And I was like, well, I used to love Trump, but he's a racist. And they're like, why you say that? I said, I seen the clip on CNN because that's what I used to watch. Said, I seen the clip on CNN and he said he's racist, man. He said, whoop wop. And they were like, nah, bro, watch the clips and then just do me a favor and watch the videos in their entirety. Go and find the speeches. So I did my homework. I promised them I would. So I went and watched literally every Trump speech that I can find where they said he was being racist and used it in the news, and I watched them. And then I watched every Trump speech that I could find, period. Literally. So then I started thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, bro, you used to love Trump. If you guys go and type in my name, Cash Kelly, feature me. I did a music video when I was 23 years old, when I was still doing my rap thing and singing thing. I did the video in Trump Tower because I thought Trump was dope. I loved Trump at the time. I loved Trump. Home Alone. Like, I thought Donald Trump was the man since I was a kid. I used to love Nelly. Nelly made a reference to Trump. It was a whole bunch of rappers that did. And I had to think about, I said, well, when did I start hating Trump? And then it clicked. After watching all of it, I said, yo, the media needs to be defunded, because they were yelling defund the police. And I started up defund the media. I said, they've been lying. So then I made more videos talking about all the things that I was learning. So then it led me into this hole of politics. So I start, every time Trump was live, I was watching. Every time something was going on in the news, I was paying attention. I was watching all these different news sources, getting information from everywhere and going live, talking about it all. So then that led into me having a platform. The platform grew rapidly. In 6 months, I went from like 100 followers to 380,000 on Facebook alone. And then Instagram blew up. You know, at its height, it was like 256,000. So with that, I started getting reached out to by radio stations and podcasts, and I started doing all these different interviews. That's actually how I met Russo. Russo reached out to me, and the only reason I hit him back is because I thought he was my homeboy that I was locked up with when we was juveniles. We was locked up in Logansport Juvenile Correctional Facility, and it was like kiddie prison. It wasn't like the regular juvie. It was like prison style, whatever, but not. It was like a low kind of prison style after being in prison and knowing that. Another story. But yeah, I hit him up and he's like, yo, can I get you on a podcast? I'm like, yeah, I got you. So I did. Me and him hit it off and we just kept the thing going. Senators, Congress people started reaching out to me. Hey, can we get on your platform? We're trying to get reelected, or this person's trying to run against this person. I'm like, yeah, cool. Let's do it. So I started doing that. Then I started getting invited to Trump rallies where they flew me out. I was getting paid to speak on stages. And that was dope. So my life had just rapidly changed. It went from just being this dude that had a car broken down. I had a GoFundMe because I needed help. I lost my job because an Arab dude called me a nigga and I choked him inside the store because he put his hands on me. I didn't initiate it, but he put his hands on me and I ended up choking him out inside the store. And I'm struggling. Like, everything was going bad in life at that time until that video blew up. And then all this, by the way, when the video blew up the first time, the GoFundMe that was on my Facebook page, bro, I just needed money for the car. They sent like $23,000 to that, which, if you guys remember, after we fixed what we needed to fix with the car, we started handing out money. Like, because I'm like, yo, I just needed it for this. And I felt like it would be wrong just to keep it all, you know? So we started doing blessing bags, handing it out to the homeless, helping people with their energy bill, people that was reaching out that were saying they were homeless, living in their car, or their kids needed something. So this extra money, we started giving it away. And then the YouTube blew up. And when the YouTube blew up, that started bringing in money because it got monetized. So now I'm a legit content creator getting paid to create content, which I already was doing for free because I love talking about stuff, you know? And my life just changed. So after going to all these different Trump rallies, I sing in the national anthem on stage. I'm meeting people that I never thought in my life that I was going to meet or be around. I ended up getting invited to DC before January 6th, also another paid event. And I went and did that. So then that's when I heard about January 6th, was like a month before January 6th, a little less than a month before January 6th. So I'm like, yeah, I'll come back. I'll fly out. or no, our ride out. So we went out to January 6th. And when we went to January 6th, I'm regular day, live, watching Trump's speech live. That was epic to me. And then everything just went bad when we got to the Capitol. You know, I'm marching, people are stopping me. You're Cash Kelly, can we take some pictures? I'm like, yeah, cool, let's do it. Like celebrity style stuff. It was amazing. It was really cool. And it was just an overwhelming feeling of love. There wasn't no Antifa around that I could see because they was all, you know, incognito, wearing Trump hats and whatever, pretending to be us. And when we get to the Capitol, you just, it was just amazing. Like the feeling, I can't even describe how amazing it all felt until you see the police come out on top of the West Terrace. The police come out. And when the police come out, they're in riot gear. And they got their pepper guns, pepper, you know, the shoot the pepper balls or the paint, whatever. It was paintballs and pepper balls. The paintballs, they was hitting people to mark them. And the pepper balls, that's what you seen go through dude's cheek. He was literally like, what, 20 feet away from me, 30 feet away from me. They got popped in the cheek. I was looking for myself in the video to see if I can find it. So we're all like pissed off because we're like, yo, what are you doing? And the other video that you guys may have seen on Julie Kelly's American Greatness, of me yelling at the police. I'm like, yo, we supported you motherfuckers all 2020 when they wanted to defund you. Why y'all doing this to us? We're patriots, Americans. There's kids out here, there's women out here. I'm going off on them. I'm flicking them off. I'm like, man, fuck y'all. It was crazy. And it just went crazier from there. From that point forward, it got crazier. You know, I say, let's get the women and everybody up out of here. So we start moving the women. I turn around. The police had already moved to the side and started letting people go in. So I climb up the railing. I climb the scaffold, climb up the railing, go on the railing up to the.
Wait, hold 1 second. Hold 1 second.
Go ahead.
So you're at the Trump speech. What motivated you to start marching to the Capitol? I want to break this down into pieces so people can get like the full scene.
So before we went to DC, I did a live, and I think it might even still be up on my page. I got to go back through all my old videos and watch, but I did a live, and I told people, when I go to DC, I'm going to stage a sit-in. That was my goal. I wanted to stage a sit-in inside the Capitol. Non-violent, nobody hurt anybody, no matter what happens, no matter what. Martin Luther King style, right? Don't touch nobody. Let's just go. We're going to sit down and just lock arms and sit down and protest and tell them to send it back. That was it. That was my main thing that I wanted to do. Protest in that form, because I didn't believe that the election was fair. And it just didn't happen like that. It didn't. It went totally different. Yeah, go ahead. You got another one?
Yeah, so you started marching there and you were going to do the sit-in.
Yes.
So was it purely because you thought the election was rigged, or was there any other motivation?
No, I was pissed off because I seen how the country was locked down. Nobody can't go out and do nothing. You're not allowed to go to church. Friends of mine lost their businesses. Kids was out of school, falling behind. Parents was struggling through this whole pandemic. Yet when you turn on the TV, you got everybody that wants to commit a crime out there having a good old time, and the police being told to stay away in certain cities, let them be, don't do anything. And it just it enraged me. It enraged me because I'm like, how is it that we all got to suffer and be stuck in the house, but people can go outside, protest, burn things down, loot stores, flip cars over, set them on fire, and no problem. And by the way, the sitting vice president right now started a damn bail fund to help get people out of prison or out of jail. You know what I'm saying? It pissed me off, bro. It was a multitude of things. I felt like that these people was corrupt. And the only way that we could make our voice heard was to be there where they sit, because they don't give a damn about what's going on where we come from or the communities that were being burned down at the time, because they don't live in them. They don't live in them. They don't have to go down the street and see broken windows or now abandoned store that was caught on fire. They don't have to go and see none of that. But where we come from, you've seen all of it. You've seen everything firsthand. Then you got Tim Wall's wife talking about it smells like freedom. No, bitch, it doesn't smell like freedom. It smells like shit's on fire in a community where you don't live. The smoke is blowing all the way up the damn hill to your little mansion that you got. It's not freedom. So it pissed me off, man. All of it. The whole thing pissed me off.
So you leave the Trump speech and you're marching over to the Capitol. What's the atmosphere like?
Electric. It was electric. People were just like how a Trump rally is. Everybody was just happy, just shaking hands, everybody taking pictures with each other, excited to see one another. You got Bryson Gray over there shooting a music video. You got MAGA Hawk over there with Kick. You got shit. What's the rainbow hair dude? The Skittle jacket that made the Trump train song. What's his name? That guy. I can't remember his name.
I don't recall either.
I can't remember his name, bro. He's a white dude. He makes Trump. What's his name? Fergiato. You got him out there doing his thing, making little videos. Tyson James, they're all making videos. So it was just a good time when you're walking down there, walking to it. You see a whole bunch of cool people just doing their thing. You know, everybody having a good time, like how it normally is. And everybody was excited. So then when we get to the Capitol, we start singing God Bless America and all these, what's up, Patriot? People giving you hugs and seeing all different ethnic groups there. It was amazing, bro. It was amazing. It was a really good time up until the police came out and got on bullshit, which now I understand why they did.
Forgiato blow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when did you start to notice that atmosphere was changing?
When the police came outside in riot gear at the West Terrace, right at the top. Everybody was cool. We didn't see no police officers until then. Literally. There wasn't no police officers until then when they came out of the Capitol and came up on the West Terrace on the top right there and started taking aim at people and then threw a flashbang into the crowd. That's when it let me know. I'm like, yo, this shit is real. I got hit in the leg with a projectile from the flashbang. And it pissed me off, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not even gonna sit here in front. I was pissed. I was pissed off. And then that sense kicked in to me. It's like, man, fuck these police. That's how I felt. Because I'm like, these people are tyrants. You're the bad cops. You're the bad cops that we talk about. You're the bad cops that get videos made about them, which they did, you know? And then you give police officers a bad name. You give good cops a bad name by you being a piece of shit cop. That's how I was feeling at the time. I said, these cops that are committing these acts don't deserve my respect. They don't deserve my respect. And everybody else in the crowd felt the same way. So then you start seeing people in the crowd start throwing shit back at the police. That's when I'm like, oh man, it's getting real. So you'll see me in the video say, yo, let's get the women out of here. Because I'm thinking it's about to be go time. And I got the women up out of there. And I came back and the police had already been standing to the side and people was going up. So as I'm going up, this white dude with like a straight haircut and his posture was like military. He's like, get in there, soldier, and gave me a flag. That's where you see me with the epic picture of me holding the flag on top of the Capitol. That was from him. He was like, get in there, soldier, get in there. And he's telling everybody the same shit. Just get in there. And I'm questioning it later. I'm like, why the fuck didn't he go in? Why are you standing there helping people up and telling them to go in, giving them shit? Like, gave me the flag. I felt like, honest to God, today, I feel like that dude was a plant. He was a fucking plant. Gave me that flag, might have had a microphone in it. I don't know. But he gave me that flag and I stood on top of that Capitol happier than a sissy with a bag full of eggplants. You know, I'm like, yo, I made it. We're on top, you know, and I'm waving the flag and me and this, it's a really good picture, bro. I know it's bad because some people be like, yo, that day was horrible. How can you say it's a good picture? It was an epic picture. I'm standing on top of the Capitol, black dude, white dude, both of us holding the American flags, looking at each other, charged up like, yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. So, you know, I look over, I see the police. I'm walking towards the door. I said, I'm good to go in. They said, don't break anything. And I walked in.
When did you guys decide that you were going in?
Well, it wasn't you guys. It was me. I made my own decisions that day. Nobody influenced my decisions, not President Trump, not the people that were standing at the door when I was going in. I made my own choice based off of the door was open. Police said, don't break anything.
Well, where were you? Were you like one of the
on top
first
of the Capitol, on top of the terrace when I climbed up?
No, but I mean, were you one of the first that went in or?
Yeah, on that side I was. It was a crowd of people that went in before me. So it was like a long line and them doors ain't that big. We went through the doors, by the way, everybody. We didn't climb through no windows. I climbed through a window leaving. I'll get to that part. But going in, it was the doorway, and then you go to the right. And it was a crowd of people like walking in, marching in, looking at the police officers. A lot of people was being respectful to the police officers because they were like, yo, problem ain't with you, you know, whatever. And they just walked in. I did the same thing. I looked over at him. I said, yo, I'm good. I could go in. And the dude looked at me and said, don't break anything. I said, okay. And I walked in. It was just a crowd of people. We were all just going. So
did it even cross your mind that what you were doing could be considered illegal?
no, I wasn't thinking about anything at that time except, holy shit, I'm in the Capitol. That was it. Completely oblivious to the mayhem. It was like everything else didn't happen. I'm in the Capitol. I got my phone out and I'm like, yo, this is beautiful. I was looking at it the other day. I still got the footage, but I won't share it because I know they're still going after people. Once Trump gets in office and there's pardons, I would share all my footage. But right now, the only reason why I don't share any footage is because I can't blur everybody's face out. So I don't want to put it out there and get somebody else arrested. That's why. That's the only reason. But I really want to put it out. I really do, because it's some good footage.
So obviously the police came out in riot gear outside. What was the police presence like inside?
Minimal. When I walked in and I walked to the right, there's a crowd and I'm recording. So I'm not paying attention to everybody else. I'm just looking at the beautiful chandeliers, the art that's on the walls, the floor. That building looked majestic, bro. It was like one of the most beautiful sights that I've ever seen in person, like being inside of a building. I've never been in a more beautiful place up to this day. Literally, I've never been inside of a more beautiful building. So when I walked in, I get to the little statutory hall or whatever it is, a little rotunda right there. Got a whole bunch of statues about like this high with a pedestal. I ain't gonna lie. I had a nigga moment, man. I jumped up on the statue and I took a picture with the statue like this. And then I posted it online like an idiot saying, today we let these traitors know, black, white, red, yellow, doesn't matter. We all came together and let these traitors know that we ain't having this shit. We taking back our country. I said all kind of crazy shit. I was in a whole different mode, but I meant every word that I said to this day. And I know I don't regret it. I don't, because that picture was dope. And yeah, I got down when I seen the dudes about to beat up the police officers. I jumped down, go over there. I'm like, yo, what are y'all doing, man? They're like, yo, fuck these dudes. I'm like, nah. And I'm paraphrasing. That's not how it actually, all went, but I'm paraphrasing. They're like, man, no, fuck these dudes. They did this and that. I'm like, no, it wasn't them. They weren't out there when they was doing that. They got on blue shirts. They ain't even ready for no riot. Leave them alone. They're like, holy shit, you're cash. I'm like, yeah. They're like, can we get a picture? I'm like, yeah. So we take a picture. When we take the picture, the police go, yo, man, thank you. I said, we good. He said, y'all could go that way, but you can't come this way. The other people walk that way. I look over, see a dude swinging at the chandelier and another dude smoking a blunt, and then the other dude trying to take something. I said, oh, shit. Now that's when it kicked into me. That's when I'm like, oh, shit, I'm going to prison. I turned around and left.
So how long were you in there total?
I don't know, like about 20 minutes, maybe. Something like that. Not that long. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I don't know. I just know it felt like forever. It was great.
So what else did you see happening inside the Capitol building? They claim there was millions of dollars of damage and stuff like that. What did you see?
I seen the dude try to swing at the chandelier. So, I mean, that chandelier probably is expensive as hell. I don't know if it's as much as they say that's owed to the building, but I'm going to go ahead and say that it probably was a lot of damage done, not just from people trying to break chandeliers, but you had people stealing paintings off the wall. And these people that was trying to take the paintings off the wall, let me clarify this. They were not MAGA. They were not MAGA. Was locked up with a couple of them. Not MAGA. I swear to God, I thought for a minute they were paid crisis actors or something. There's something off about them. And I'm not going to say no names yet. Not yet. Just wait until Trump gets in office. Once Trump puts these pardons in, I promise you guys, I will tell you everything about every single person I will tell you exactly what I think about a lot of these dudes that I was locked up with. Even though I love them and they're my brothers because of the shared experience, some of them are only our brothers. And I say are because we know who the real people are in January 6th that was locked up with us, that are really patriots, that are really people that love this country, that are really people that were there for the right reasons. We know that. And when I say we, I mean our inner circle inside of January 6th, inside of DCDOC. Not everybody is who you think they are. And I'm going to leave that there.
Did you engage with anyone that wasn't a police officer, like members
yeah.
of Congress or staffers or anybody like
Hell
that?
no. Nope.
Didn't see any of them or anything like
Nope.
that?
Nope.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being orderly and 10 being absolute chaos, how did it feel inside?
You say 1 being the calmest and then 10 being the worst?
Correct.
Say like 4. Just because I seen the dude swinging at the chandelier and trying to fight the cops. Other than that, everything else was cool. A dude smoked a blunt in there. I don't think that's not really bad, but whatever, you know. You could call it disrespectful or whatever you want to do. But I mean, hey, it was just a blunt. Other than that, yeah, I mean, it was all right. Watching the footage of the inside, 10 all day long.
Yeah, Angelina has pointed out a couple times here that the velvet ropes up like it was a tour.
That was on the east side though, and that's what people mistake. They don't realize this. The Capitol's big, right? So on the west side where I went in at, it was completely different experience compared to the people on the east side. They didn't come out in riot gear on the east side and try to, you know, hit people with flashbangs and pepper balls and beating people with shields. They didn't do none of that. And none of that happened on the east side. It was like you said, a guided tour. They're like, oh yeah, come on in. Come on. That's fine. On the west side, they beating the shit out of people. I'm beating the shit out of people on the West Terrace. Videos show that.
So you started to kind of tease you leaving the building. How did you get out?
All right. So when I turn around and leave, I see the police that was already there. And then I see SWAT come running in. I'm like, oh shit. No, I don't care who you are. You don't want to see SWAT running towards your direction. So I'm like, oh, put my hands up. I'm like, yo, I just want to leave. I am not trying to do nothing wrong. I just want to go. They said, you got to go out the window. I said, all right. I left out the window. Think the police put his arm there to help me up. Like, they helped. They weren't disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Them police officers wasn't. So yeah, I left. And once I got outside, I see the door. Before I left, the door's barricaded that I came through. And people were outside the door pushing and punching and trying to heave ho. That literally they were saying, heave ho. Like, it was something out of a movie. So when I get out there, I'm like, yo, I look at everybody. I'm like, yo, y'all don't want to go in there. Shit's popped off. SWAT's behind that door waiting for y'all, bro. Don't do it. Some of them were like, fuck them, we're going in. And the other dudes was like, are you serious? And then the lady was like, oh, is it bad? I'm like, yeah, we should go. And some people, most people stayed. They stayed and they did what they did. And I kept going down the way. And I told people, yeah, they asked me, did I make it in? I said, yeah, they wanted to see the videos. So I showing them the videos as I'm going, taking pictures with people. And I'm trying to find my homeboy that I was there with so we can go back to the hotel and just be done with it, because it turned into something else. But let me tell y'all something, man. I know y'all hear that it was only like 100,000 people or what they try to say on the news. Look, when I came out, before I even went in, you could see that it was, as far as the eye could see, you seen people. When I came out, it was jam-packed where I came through at. Literally, I'm like this, trying to scoot past people to get down. And then all the way back, the same picture that it was, just a whole lot more people in mass right there. And it was crazy, bro. A really good picture. I got it at too, but again, there's too many faces. I don't want to show it.
I can see that. Terry's doing an excellent job of putting up Cash's contact info, and she just had his Cash App up. It's the Christmas season. If you're gonna give to cash or give to his charitable foundation. They do a great job. So if you're just listening, take a peek at the screen, or later go back and grab it. It's going to be in the links and all that. But make sure you're checking out this stuff down below. So you said it was about a 4 inside. What was it outside?
The outside was just a bunch of people. I didn't see nobody fighting with police officers at that time in front of me. After I left, though, is when it really kicked off. When I started to leave, when I got down the stairs, that's when all hell broke loose. Like, you can hear it. You hear people, like, it sounded like a battle, bro. It was intense. And yeah, I mean, it was definitely a 10. It was a 10 for sure.
Yeah, be
rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt, all day long.
Yeah, for sure.
And I gotta say real quick before we keep going, man. I always take the time to clear this thing up because a lot of brothers got drugged through the mud with January 6th. So a couple names I want to just throw out there to you. Michael Curzio, good dude. I love that brother. That's my bro. They painted him out to be some violent white supremacist, and he's not. He's a good guy. Scott Fairlamb, amazing guy. That's my brother for life. Love that brother to death. That's my bro. Timothy Hale. They really try to drag him through the mud. That is my brother. I love him to death. Shout out to Patriot Freedom Project for the work that they do helping out the January 6ers and Cynthia Hughes. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Kelly Meggs, Oathkeeper, not a racist. Great guy. Love him to death. That's my bro. Kenny Harrelson, not a racist. That's my bro. Love him to death. He's also an Oathkeeper. Jess Watkins, not a racist. She's an Oathkeeper. Love her to death. Who else? We got Ryan Nichols. That's my bro. That's my dog. Not a racist. He's a Marine. Doodoo. James McGrew. That's my bro. He's a Marine. Combat tested in Fallujah. Love that brother to death. Shane Jenkins. Love that brother to death. Dempsey. He's a jerk off, but I love him to death. That's my bro. What's Nick? Nick Oliveira. That's my bro. He does films. Good dude. Love that brother to death. There's just a lot. Jeffrey McKillop. He's awarded a Bronze Star a couple times. Combat tested. Green Beret. Amazing dude. Love that brother to death. There's so many of these people that I can mention that their names was just drugged through the mud. And they were painted to be things that they was not. Try to paint them out to be racist. They were not. All the people that I just mentioned, I hung with them brothers every day. Like, ate with them, laughed with them, cried with them. Hell, we learned how to make hooch together while we was locked up. We learned how to make our own little wine. Holidays would come around, we would make our own hooch, and we'll be, having a good time, man, celebrating. I love them. I love them brothers, man. Every single one of them. Not racist, regardless of what you heard. You heard it from the black dude. All right? Not racist. I lived with them for a year and a half. Good people. Jeffrey McKillop, love you, bro. Ain't forgot about you. Sable, forgot to mention your name. Love you, bro. Can't wait to see all of y'all come home. Maccabee, that's my dog. Ron Maccabee, that's my dog. I'm sorry if I missed your names. It's a lot, but they're not racist. I can say that. All of the brothers that were in there, even the ones that I'm not so cool with today, they're not racist. I just want to clear that all the way up. Padilla, not a racist. None of the brothers that I was locked up with are racist. Jake Lang, not a racist. Don't get me started on Jake, but he's not a racist. All right. I could go on and on down the list, man.
I don't even know if you've ever seen this, but this is one of the ones I made.
That's freaking dope. That is dope. I like that.
Yeah, you pointed this out last time. Obviously, rest in peace, Ashley Babbitt. But a lot of people forget that Roseanne Boylan died as well. So rest in peace, Roseanne, as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you realize this might not be good for you?
For sure. When did I realize it? When I got to the hotel and turned on the TV. I was like, oh, shit. No, matter of fact, I didn't even turn on the TV. I walked in and I saw the people in the lobby looking at the screen like, I'm like, oh, shit. And at that time, it was an all-out battle. It was literally the battle of the West Terrace. Police versus MAGA and Antifa, because there was Antifa out there in that crowd, and you could see, I could spot them out for you in the video. Yeah, it was bad. In my mind, I'm like, I'm going to prison for sure. Yeah, this is done. Now I'm a part of a crime. I am an accessor to all of this shit that we're seeing on TV right now. That's how I felt.
So before you got arrested, how were others reacting to you?
People, well, to me, shit, it was love. It's all out love, because I told the people I was going there, and they supported me, and they followed all my stuff. I kept them updated on what was going on, and people loved it. I mean, it was all love. It was the same. You get trolls. Like, anytime you have a large platform, you get the trolls that come in and, they'll say the stupid shit that they say, and I just brush that off. But overwhelmingly, I say 95% was positivity. 95% was positivity, man. It was good. It was good. A lot of support, especially when they found out I was going to prison. Like, people were like, yo, we got you. We got you. We're going to write you. We're going to take care of your kids. And they did. They did, man. People really showed up for me, bro. It was dope.
Well, hang on. So how and when were you arrested?
I had to turn myself in January 11th. No, 10th. The 10th or the 11th. One of them dates. I went to jail, and I was on pretrial release at the time. All right. I don't know if y'all know this, a little quick backstory. I used to be a Latin king. All right. I was raised, basically a Latin king. And in the community where I grew up in, that's what everybody was. Unless, you joined like the Vice Lords or the Black Stones, but you were accepted in the community still because you grew up in the community. But if you were from that community, like born and raised there, you was a Latin king, no matter what your race was. And I got out of it when I was 21, but I got indicted at the age of 28, I believe, for a conspiracy that, I know you all hear this and it's cliche, but you can ask the brothers. They free now. They'll tell you them damn selves. I didn't have nothing to do with. I had an outreach program. I was reaching out to these dudes, trying to get them to leave the gangs. So they had pictures of me with younger Latin kings that I'm trying to convince to stay out of the gang. I'm like, leave these dudes alone. You're going to end up locked up. And I ended up locked up because I got pictures with these dudes who I didn't know was out here murdering people. I didn't know that. And so I got wrapped up in that. I was on pretrial release for about 3 years. About 3 years. And I was fighting at first. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to take the plea deal because you can't win against the feds. And I was set to be sentenced later on in 2021. So when January 6th came around, they had me turn myself in because they had a criminal complaint from DC for me. And I'm like, okay. So I turned myself in. And then a month later, I was sentenced on that and sent to DC DOC, which was strange because once you're sentenced, you're supposed to go to the feds. You're supposed to go through intake, go through the transfer process. And then after you're done with your sentence, go to wherever you got more time at or you have a complaint at. Instead, and I swear to you guys, I feel like this is why I say I feel like it was God, right? Instead, they sent me to DC DOC as a sentenced inmate amongst a bunch of pretrial detainees. And I feel the reason why that is, everybody tries to wrap their head around it that knows about the system, like that should have never happened. God put me in that spot so I could come home and do what I'm doing right now to help clear these brothers' names. Because imagine if it wasn't no person like me. When I say like me, I mean my skin color and from where I'm from the hood. I'm not a regular, clean cut dude. I've grown into something nice, but coming up, I'm from something else, and being in that environment where it's supposed to be the nation's worst and the biggest threat to America, these white supremacists, God puts me right there with these dudes to be able to come home and say, yo, those are my brothers. They lied. The they're liars. None of these dudes are white supremacists. None of them. They're my bros. So yeah, I feel like that's what it was all for.
So when did you hear about your charges from the protest?
When I turned myself in. That's why I had to be sent they used to send me to DCDOC, a criminal complaint. I didn't have charges filed against me until I was living in DCDOC. I was a sentenced, convicted inmate and had been housed with a bunch of pretrial detainees with only a criminal complaint against me, not even charges filed. That's why I'm saying it was like some political persecution shit. It was insane. It's like, oh, this is the Trump. If I hadn't been viral, if I hadn't have been such a big voice in 2020, I promise you I would have went straight to prison. They would have never put me in there. I would have never been transferred, and I wouldn't even had to deal with none of that. But because my platform was so big and my voice was so out there and had so many people listening, they're like, we got to make an example out of this dude. Because if I would have went to prison straight from there, I promise you it would have been some militant shit going on. Like I probably would have been on. I'm glad I went to DCDOC because my mind, I was when being locked up and then them plastering me on the news and then saying that all January 6ers was white supremacists and I'm a black dude, it pissed me off. So I was really like, in my mind, I'm like, yo, we gonna take back America. Like I was on a whole different mind frame. I'm like, I'm just gonna train in here. I'm gonna get strong. I'm gonna learn the law, and when I get home, I'm gonna fuck them up. Like, that's what my mentality was for a minute. And I'm in there educating all the brothers around me before I got sent to DCDOC. I shared a couple of videos from prison doing that, talking to people about the Constitution. I had the Constitution sent in and was literally teaching the brothers that I was locked up with their rights. Like it was crazy. But yeah, I mean. That's it.
So what were the charges?
Violent entry and disturbing Congress while in session. So they put me in DCDOC based off of misdemeanors for over a year and a half.
And then after a year and a half, that's when
I finally got to see the judge because they wouldn't allow us to see judges. They kept continuing everybody's court dates. They wouldn't even let you take a plea unless you was going to kiss the ring and say Trump made me do it. If I would have said, hey, I'm willing to take a plea right now and blame everything on Trump, I wouldn't have had to sit in DC for a month. I'd have been gone. They would have shipped me out to where I was supposed to go. Anybody that kissed the ring and said Trump made me do it, they got bond. Everybody else got their bonds revoked. Literally.
So what did you think when you heard the charges?
I wasn't tripping. I literally was like, fuck them. Literally. I'm like, fuck them. I don't care. I already got time I'm doing anyway, so fuck these charges. It's not going to trump the charges that I already got. Fuck them. That's how I felt. I was done with it, bro. I was already over it. I was pissed off because I got 4 years for something I had nothing to do with when I was supposed to have gotten house arrest. So the judge, when he sentenced me before January 6th case that I had to deal with, the things that he said, it pissed me off, but hurt me. It hurt me the way that they try to portray me. They try to portray me as this violent gang member that was like Pablo Escobar with the cocaine. Like it was crazy. And to see the kind of picture that they painted of me, and then what the judge said to me about January 6th, about me attacking our nation's democracy or our capital or whatever, I don't even know. It just pissed me off because I'm like, that's not what happened. There's not even charges filed against me. This is a criminal complaint. But because you seen January 6th bad on the news and I was there, automatically you're assuming that I was bad. He said, I can't operate. Obviously, they're going to handle this in DC, but I can't operate in a vacuum. So I got time 2 times. I got time from 2 judges. One for a crime that I was supposed to be convicted for and sentenced on, and then the other from the January 6th thing. But the judge that was supposed to sentence me on just the conspiracy was talking about J6. Like, why? And obviously, political. It was political. So, yeah, take that, Patriot. Take that, maggot. That's what it was. MAGA, maggot, take that. You know? And I did. I took it. And like I say, today, how I feel, I say, man, look, God bless that judge. I guess he did the best that he could with the knowledge that he had. When you're a judge and you have to sentence people, that's a hard ass job, you know? And I don't necessarily think that he was, a liberal or a Republican or any of those things. I think that judge seen the day that had seen January 6th on the news and everything that happened and felt like it was a spit in the face to him and the court because I didn't respect justice or law in his mind, even though I didn't have charges against me for January 6th. So I don't even blame the judge, man. Matter of fact, God bless the judge, because at the end of the day, I was exactly where I needed to be able to come home and do the things that I'm doing right now. Had I not been at January 6th, had I not been in that courtroom, had I not gotten sentenced, I wouldn't have been able to talk about these brothers the way that I do. I wouldn't have got my health together. I wouldn't have studied and learned all the things that I learned. And I wouldn't have the same appreciation that I have today for the people that I care about, or the things that I say, you know, when I come online. I wouldn't have the appreciation for the people that follow me. I missed this. I miss doing this. I miss talking to people. I missed giving the inspiration and giving the hope, and also giving the real. That was my main thing, was giving the real. Yeah, it's help and positivity, but giving the real shit, because people don't do that no more. You know, and I missed it. I missed all of it. So I don't regret it. God bless that judge, the prosecutor. You know, the prosecutor spoke better about me than my own lawyer. Shit's crazy. Crazy. But go ahead.
So, what was the most surprising part about the legal process to you?
I've never seen people be denied bond the way that January 6th was. I've never seen people slammed the way that they were slammed, especially now that I know going through the system and how it works. I've never seen people's lawyers be turned away to where you can't talk to your own lawyer. I've never seen discovery taken, you know, from people inside of their cells. I've never seen marshals, you know, do the shit that they was doing when they came in and had to inspect. It's a lot of the legal process, man. I've never seen lawyers be so against their clients. That's a thing. A lot of lawyers were literally against the people they were representing and trying to railroad them. I never seen no shit like that. It was all surprising. You know, I never seen judges get on the stand or get behind the bench and talk shit the way that they talk shit because we was January 6th. So it just lets me know that there's bias in everything, man. There's good and bad in everybody. Good and bad in everybody, man.
So, how did the arrest affect your family and your personal life?
Shit. Honestly, my kids, you know, my kids, man, I've had my babies since they was born, like I'm supposed to as a father. I've never been without my kids ever in my life. And when I got locked up, you know, some of them, I got baby mamas, you know, so some kids had to go back with this woman. These kids had to go back with this woman. This one's going to stay with this woman. And I had two little ones that I was fearful. I'm like, they're not even going to remember me. You know, they're not going to know who the fuck I am when I get out. And that was rough, you know. And then seeing some of my kids had left to Texas, and then some of my other kids had moved to Alabama because they had to. And it sucked, you know. I was grateful, you know, to be able to still look out for them in the form of people that gave a damn about me before I got locked up, taking care of them while I was away, you know. So I'm grateful to everybody that did that for me. I love y'all for that. Thank you. Also, shit, when I came home, you know, my life was different. I had a lot that I don't want to talk about because I don't want to cause no issues between you know, family and stuff. But yeah, I got shit all fucked up right now, personally. Like I got things that I got to pay off now, and stuff that was put in my name when I was away that I couldn't. Obviously, I was locked up, and I lost a lot of stuff. So yeah, I mean, relationships ended, you know, that thing, and life happened. That's all.
So, I'm going to jump ahead, but I want to go back and talk about the other parts of it. But what was rebuilding like after that, once you got out?
Okay, well, all right. I'm gonna give it a little bit. So I was supposed to come home and have a home to come home to, and I didn't. when I got out, I had to go to the halfway house. And from the halfway house, I had to go live with my father. He raised me. He's my stepfather. He's not like my blood, my biological father, but he raised me and I love him to death as my father. But he took me in and I set my little stuff up in the basement. So then I tried to acquire any of the things that I did have left, which was the main thing I needed was my computer, my phone, and my lights. That was it. That's all I asked for. So I'm like, I'm gonna rebuild. I'm gonna rebuild because this is my thing. This is how I make money, you know? So I started trying to do that while filling out job applications. So I'm like, I got to get a job. Obviously, I don't have a following. I'm not going to get the money that I was making before. So I got to get a job. So I'm filling out all these different applications and not one fucking callback. I didn't get one callback. And after all these promises from the DC, or I'm sorry, from the BOP, they put you in these programs and they're like, hey, we're going to get you ready to bring you back into society. And there's a lot of programs out there. A lot of places, most places want to hire a felon. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And it's true because a lot of people that I'm still in contact with that have come home or instantly got working. So I'm like, why the fuck can't I get a job? You know, I live in Indiana. Indiana's a red state, but it's blue. And I just found this out literally like 2 months ago or however long ago it was, that they do a background check on you, not just like through your legal stuff, but they Google you. So when you Google me, first thing you see isn't violent Latin king, right? Convicted of conspiracy or whatever. No, it's violent Latin king storms our nation's capital. So anytime if an employer sees that, they look me up. Even if I'm a felon, they're like, oh, okay, just want to make sure you ain't got no robberies or nothing. Robberies, the child lovers, the kidnappers and thieves, they have trouble. I got nonviolent crimes. All my crime nonviolent. So it's the January 6th thing. My homeboy pointed it out. He goes, bro, you got January 6th on your shit. When you Google you, it's all that pops up. You're on top of the statue. You got all these articles written about you. Yeah, you ain't gonna get a job. And that's why I never got a call back. So literally I've been depending on this. This is what I do. This is my thing. So I started filming. You see, I got my cameras in the back and I do what I do. I'm trying to keep progressing with this editing. That's my thing. I edit, push American made products through freedomboxinfo.com. And then I got the merch store. So I'm creating my own business. That's how I'm getting by. That's how I've had to rebuild, because getting a job right now, unless I move somewhere like Florida where they think I'm a fucking rock star, I ain't getting no job right now. And then got to give a shout out to the people that have supported me through this and the ones that still are. Big shout out to Dawn and Dan, Kim Whitaker, Cindy DeGlesh, I believe the name is. All of them has been instrumental. When I first came home, they put together like separately little bit of funds for me, not nothing crazy, but yeah, to help me get on my feet first starting out. And it helped big time because now I got my own place. Casey has helped me out. Casey sent me this tower that I got. He literally built it for me. Dawn and Dan sent me these 4 monitors that you see. Well, you can't see, but I can see that I'm looking at right here. Just to progress this, because they're like, this is your thing. This is what you got to do. You have to stay being a voice. You get out there, you tell the truth, you speak what's real, create the content. This is what you do. This is you. And then we got the Streetlights Unity movement. Because even though my life might be fucked up is compared to what it was, which is, to me, my life is dope. Let me just make that clear. To me, I have the greatest life in the world. I love my life. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for the people in my life, right? But I like to give back to other people, and the way that we do that is Streetlights Unity movement. And that's all I am, is a bridge. I'm a bridge from over here to these people that may need a hand. That's it. And that's where I spend my time, creating content, focusing on this and streetlights,
So the court process, like, what was your experience working with your lawyer?
Horrible. She's tried to be nice, but I knew, you could tell, she's like, fuck this dude. Every time she's trying to tell me something about how bad Trump is. And I hope that I learned my lesson and all this shit. And yeah, it was horrible. She didn't show up sometimes, didn't file something that I asked her to file, wouldn't do what I told her to do. I wanted to invoke my right to a speedy trial. She wouldn't do it. It's like, no, COVID, you can't press. I'm like, bitch, you work for me, you know? And she didn't want to hear none of that. So yeah, I just had to wait. Like everybody else had to play the wait game. It was bad.
So did you end up taking a plea?
Yeah. Yeah. Which it didn't matter. I was like, is this going to get me out of here? That's what I asked her. If I take this plea, is this going to get me out of here? They said, yeah. I said, all right, what's the plea? Guess what my plea was? The same shit that I already had. The same charges that I had, bro. They dropped off 6 months. They switched it from violent entry and disturbing Congress while in session to picketing and parading, which is what it should have been. That's what it should have been I did not violently enter anywhere knowingly. And I didn't knowingly disturb Congress while in session. That was false. And I told her that. I was arguing that. I said, I didn't know. The police told me I could go in. How the hell was that a violent entry? I didn't violent enter anywhere. And how did I disturb Congress while they was in session? Knowingly. That's a key word. Knowingly disturbing Congress while in session. I didn't try to disturb them. Because all I did was go inside the damn Capitol and wanted to do was sit in. I wasn't fucking with Congress. I didn't know what the hell they was doing. I just wanted them to know that, you know, we were there. And they were already out anyway. They were gone. They was gone. How the hell you going to disturbing Congress while in session when they're already out of session? It was dumb. My charge should have been simple trespassing, picketing, and parading. I was cool with that. I would have gladly, no problem. I'm guilty, you know, but it was horrible.
So you wouldn't say you feel like the justice system treated you fairly?
No, hell no. No, I don't believe so at all. I don't think they treated anybody fairly unless, again, the people that got treated fairly was the ones that kissed that ring. And even then, they still got shafted in the end. They got treated fairly in the beginning because they let them go home like they should have. They let them go out on bond like they should have, you know? But they still getting the shaft. They still getting hit. So that's on you. You went against them. I got to say, I understand people, you know, you're under pressure. You know, you want to see your family. I get it. But you don't lie. You don't lie on somebody else. I'm a firm believer in this. If you get caught for a crime, if you get hit for a crime that you didn't commit, then you don't take that water. I'm not holding your water. I'm going to tell on your ass. If I didn't do it, I'm telling on you. If I did it, I'm holding it. That's on me. I did that. Trump didn't make you go and do what you did, bro, for you to go and kiss the ring. You decided to go and do what you did. Nobody made you do anything. So why lie on Trump just so you could get out? I get it. The pressure. You want to see your family, all the things. You're not used to this. You probably grew up rich. I understand. I get that. But that's some coward shit. And that we don't respect that, you know?
So what was your reasoning for taking the plea?
I wanted to get out of DCDOC. I was sick of being there, four walls, or a day room with white walls, not being able to go outside all the time, not being afforded all the things that I was afforded. And the biggest reason was the First Step Act. There's no programs inside of DCDOC for you to get time off. There's no programs, period, for you to get a time cut. In federal prison, you have the option to take classes like I did to be able to get home. So I wanted to get the fuck out of there so I could get into there and get my time over with and get it cut. Had they have shipped me to prison the year before, like I was supposed to have been, I would have been home about 6 months sooner than I actually got home.
You're getting so much love in the comments here.
I appreciate it.
Kathleen says we gave a shit cash.
All day.
Angelina says cash is a warrior.
Love.
Rose sends you love.
Love Rose.
Real nice people.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you everybody for encouraging him, and he's I mean, you can just tell by his voice this is some tough stuff to go through. So I feel bad asking the question.
No, man, this is good. This is good.
Okay. So once you knew what the sentence was going to be and what you were pleading to, how did you feel?
Relieved. I was relieved. I was getting to go home. In my mind, it's like, get this shit out the way so I could get to prison, so I could get home. That was my process in my mind. Got to get through this phase. I was over it. I was over the thing that got me was the dissension inside of DCDOC, within the pot, like within the groups. It got to be unbearable. We're trapped with each other all day long. You hear this dude over here crying like a bitch about something that's not true, throwing a fit, talking shit about everybody. Then you got this group over here that's like, yo, these people's are pieces of shit. And then they causing issues. So now we getting locked down, or now we not getting this, or whatever was going on. And then to see the people that will go and lie, that started pissing me off, because what do you do? What do you do? Do you go and put them on blast when they're out there talking to the Patriot Corner? You know, the people out there are amazing. I love y'all. Thank you guys again for being out there and protesting on behalf of all of us. But there were people that were calling them and lying to them. There were people in that pod putting hit pieces on people, getting information and then calling up NPR or whoever, CNN, and doing hit pieces on patriots. They did hit pieces on Timothy Hale. Dude served in the military. He's a patriot. It's a good dude. That's my fucking bro. And they painted him out to be this big anti-Semitic racist. You know what I'm saying? Did the same shit to the Oath Keepers, putting hit pieces on them, putting hit pieces on Ryan Nichols, putting hit pieces on. They was just putting hit pieces, and it was bullshit. And it just got to be too much. And it's like, these dudes are supposed to be patriots. These are some pussy ass crybaby leftists pretending to be MAGA. Again, I love y'all. I still love you, because we spent a lot of time together and I got to know some of you. I love you because of that. But as MAGA, as a nationalist, fuck you. That's it.
So how long were you in prison? What was that experience like? Give us like a day in the life of that prison experience.
Being in DCDOC or actual prison?
Well, both.
Okay, so DCDOC, when I first got there, was fucking horrible, bro. Like, you're locked in your cell, supposed to be 23 hours a day, end up being 30, 34, 36 hours a day, because only 4 people could come out at a time. And then you're only out for an hour, in which you got to take a shower, you got to call your family, and possibly heat some food up in the microwave that you got off commissary. After we started being able to come out, it was good. We had camaraderie. We did the Hopium Den. Like, that was a great memory that I love. On Saturdays, we would do the Hopium Den, where it was like our own Saturday Night Live. We would create skits and come out and perform the skits in front of each other, just to be like, make the time go by. And it was fun. And we even included some of the people that we, you know, they're supposed to be patriots that are not patriots. They were a part of it. This is why I say I love them, because we bonded on certain things. And that was good. We sang the national anthem every day. You know, I remember mopping the floors. I mopped the entire fucking bottom and top, and other people, we take turns doing it. Some people mop this section, some people will sweep. And, you know, I was a part of detail crew, so it was just, we had our own little inner circle where we all kicked it. And I mean, just singing happy birthday to people's kids or woman over the phone, all of us crowding around the phone for our children and our loved ones, and singing happy birthday to them. Having each other's back in times where it counted, you know, standing up for each other when it counted. And I mean, it was good when we were hanging, when that was going on. The bullshit, though, like getting maced, you know, and you're not doing shit, but they just spray the whole damn place with mace, bear spray, and now you're coughing and you're watching this old man choke, and then you got to see this dude on the floor and they got a knee on him, and they, you know, they doing what they do, cuffing them, and it's like, this is bullshit. He didn't do nothing, but you can't do nothing, because if you do something, now we make the Patriot Pod look like, oh, look at these terrorists trying to overtake the jail. And believe me, we thought about it. Like, we had thoughts about it. Having to worry about if a CO was going to come in our cell and try to kill us, you know, that happened. Harassment. It was a lot, bro. But then again, like I say, the good times, like there's this officer named Officer Abdullah. I love that brother to death, man. Like, he made it bearable on days where I felt like I was about to snap. I would go and sit with that brother, and he's Muslim, and I started learning a lot more of the Quran. So I started sitting with him, reading the Quran and reading the Bible. So we would just talk about it. And it was good. It was good, man. You know, the little things. Miss Cabbage Stalk, she was amazing, good officer. Miss Hubbard, really good officer, which got fucked up because somebody lied on her and said that she was saying some racist shit when she's not. She was a really cool person. So it was just ups and downs, man. But overall, it was horrible. Like, you find beauty in things. I find the beauty in, and when I look at it and I really think about it, right? It was so bad, bro. It was horrible. It was fucking horrible. But yet I'm still able to just say it was good still, because we got all these different things that I guess you end up being grateful for. You know, you end up being grateful for the camaraderie that you do find. You end up being grateful for the kindness of a CO. You end up looking forward to and being appreciative of, you know, a good meal when it comes in, or if a CO brings you some food in from outside, looking out for you, you become appreciative of those little things. So even though it was horrible, I guess wasn't so bad.
So what was the dynamic with the other prisoners like? Did you go along with most of them? You know, what was that like?
Let me answer this question to CHS. Did the jail time stop your journey with streetlights? Not at all. We have it up and running. It's an official 501c3, so any donations is tax exempt, and we're doing a Christmas drive this year. We already have gotten 3/4 of the way there with our goal. No, I'm still at that. That's near and dear to my heart. I'll never stop that. So that's just to answer your question. But the question that you said, Free, what was the experience with the other prisoners like?
I just put the URL down there too, right below you.
Okay. Yeah, the experience with the other prisoners, for me, every time I encountered them, it was love. Like, I would see them in passing when we would go to medical. Like, they took me to medical, and I'll be sitting there with all the other inmates, and they would ask me what I'm here for. I told them January 6th, and it was all love. They thought it was like I was a rock star. It was like, bro, that's some dope shit. We with you, Slim. We with you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm with you too, bro. You know, and we started doing shit for them. You know, putting words out for the other prisoners, man, that we came in contact with. We actually got together, a couple of us, and gave bags because we had so much commissary from all of you all that we didn't know what the fuck to do with. So we got bags together around Christmas time to make sure that they had commissary on Christmas so they can make themselves something to eat. We asked the CO, hey, can you take this over to the pod next door? And they were like, y'all for real? We like, yeah, bro, they had bags of shit. We looked out for them. So we found, like I said, bro, we found a way to just make ourselves feel okay, you know, and always helping somebody makes you feel good. So to do that for these dudes, not knowing what their crimes was, we didn't give a damn about their crimes. The COs tried to tell us, you know, it's a dude over there that's so fucked up. He did whoop-de-wop. And we like, well, we don't care about none of that. We just want them to have this because, you know, it's Christmas time and they need some shit. So just, can you give it to them? Yeah. So they did. But overall, the experience with the other prisoners was good, man. They thought that all of us was rock stars. They loved us, literally.
So
my man Kenny's in the chat. That's Kenny Harrelson. That's who I was just talking about. Kenny, I was just talking about you, bro. I don't know if you heard it. The last comment all the way at the bottom, Kenny Harrelson. Ken Harrelson. That's my brother right there, y'all. That's one of the who they convicted that is an oath keeper and said he's a white supremacist and all. Let me tell you something. That's one of my closest brothers. That's one of my closest brothers, man. It's a gang of us. It's we got a crew. You know, the core. He's part of the core. That's the bro. Love that brother to death. Shout out Ken Harrelson.
Ken, throw your contacts, you know, your handle in there or whatever, so people can follow you. Anything you want people to see, throw in there, and we'll make sure people see it. So thanks for joining us. Yeah. So how did prison change you?
Well, all right. So I've never been religious, right? I'm not gonna say I've never been religious. When I was a kid, I was very religious, super Christian, right? Tried to be at the top of being a gangbanger and a drug dealer. But religion helped me, right? And every time my life was fucked up, it helped me, you know, because I got to religion introduced me to spirituality, you know. So when I left religion alone, I was like 14 and I joined the Nation of Islam. And when I got into the Nation of Islam, I learned a whole bunch of stuff that I never knew. But it drove me away because I seen the racist shit that I didn't like because my mother's white. You know what I'm saying? I'm mixed. And I'm like, I can't do this racist shit. So I left that alone. It turned me off. Once I seen that, I'm like, this can't be of God if these people is racist. So I left it alone. And I got into the whole Hebrew Israelite thing, left that alone because again, the racism, can't do the racist shit. And then I went back to Christianity. And on a spiritual level, so I've read that Bible probably more than any other book or any other literature ever in my life. I could quote damn near the whole thing, bro. Like I know the Bible, even if I can't quote it word for word, I could paraphrase and tell you what each chapter of that Bible is about and where to find whatever it is you need to look for. I love the Bible changed my life, right? But when I got locked up, I was questioning like a lot. I was trying to keep my positivity, but I was questioning a lot. Like my faith in God didn't shake, but how I was believing, I was questioning like maybe I'm doing this wrong. Maybe I'm believing in God the wrong way, you know. And it obviously I started reading more of the Quran. Like I started studying the Quran, and for a minute there, thought, you know, like yo, maybe I'm Muslim. Maybe I'm supposed to be a Muslim. Maybe this is why this is happening. And so I started not practicing Islam, but reading the Quran more and praying. Like I was praying 5 times a day for a while until I got into certain parts. And I'm like, okay, no, this shit's sketchy. I cannot get with this, bro. This can't be. And then other things was revealed to me and through the Quran, right? So when I was reading the Quran one day and it talks about Jesus, this blew my mind, and this was what kind of took me out of it and brought me right back to Christ, right? Reading the Quran brought me back to Christ, literally. It's a crazy story, and you're about to hear it. So I open the Quran, and I'm reading, and I'm studying it like how I study the Bible. And there's this verse in the Quran where it says about Jesus that God, Allah, said to be, and he was, right? And that Jesus is, where his name is in the Quran is Isa. Isa is the word of God. It says that in the Quran, okay? It goes on to say some other stuff too, but when I read these things, I went and talked to the imam, all right, inside of DCDOC. And when I went and talked to the imam inside of DCDOC, I told him, I say, man, so I know you guys don't believe in Jesus as the only begotten son of God. He said, no, we don't. That is polytheism. I said, well, he said, why are you asking? I said, well, because I do believe that Jesus is the only begotten. This is the imam. This is the teacher. Like he comes in, he's from a mosque. And I said, I do believe that he's the son of God, the only begotten son of God. He said, well, brother, why do you think this? So I showed him in the Quran and he told me what it means in Arabic. It was like kufaku or something like that. I can't pronounce it. But it says be and it is. He said be and he was. And I said, within the Bible, and I said, maybe it's just a translation issue that people was faced with. If this is the thing that's separating you, because in the Bible, it says that Jesus is the only begotten son of God. And in the Quran, if it's saying that Jesus got here by the be, because Allah said be and he was, and we're all the children of Allah, we're all the children of God. Well, then the Bible is true when it says that Jesus is the only begotten son because he got here by the be. And this dude told me, he said, brother, who told you that? I said, nobody. I was just reading the Quran and this is what I feel God put on my heart. He goes, I've never heard this before. I've never heard this. No one's ever said this. This is brilliant. Allah is going to do amazing things in your life. That's what the imam told me for telling him that Jesus is the only begotten son of God. So then I went back and I prayed and I told God, I said, you know my heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm only searching for you. You know, I'm not perfect. And when I pray, you guys, I'm gonna tell you, when I pray, even I know people would judge me for this, but don't. When I'm mad, like I cuss. I'm like, God, this is fucked up. You know, what's going on? And that's how I talk to God, like how I'm talking to my father. You know, like how if I'm angry and I'm expecting my dad to understand, and then he'll check me later type deal. It's like that. And I remember I prayed to God and I said, hey, I'm sorry. You know, I said, I'm sorry that that I left my mind, or I left my heart because of my mind, because of overthinking. And I say, just forgive me, you know. And in there again, I ask, you know, Christ into my heart again. Now I'm not perfect. I curse, you know, I got a bad mouth. But my heart's good, because my heart, that's from God. That's God's dwelling for me anyway. I believe that. I believe that the Holy Spirit is in my heart, you know. And that's why I try to do the things that I do. So even if I am a little fucked up, you know, that's Cash that's fucked up. Any bad you see me do, that's Cash doing the bad, saying the bad. But when you see me do good, that's not me. That's God. That's God in my heart. So that's how prison changed me. I had a new understanding. I had a new perspective about God, which is why I'm not quick to judge nobody based off of their faith or based off of the life journey that they own right now. You know, I make a lot of content, and, you know, I got my opinions because of my faith about certain things like abortion or homosexuality or, you know, somebody being a Muslim or a Jew or whatever. I have my opinion, but I still love them. I still love y'all. And content is content. That's it. You're muted.
Thanks. So what's being on parole like?
Oh, not bad, actually. I mean, it sucks that I can't go places without getting approval, but overall they leave me be. They'll come to my house and they'll check out my home. Like, they're actually, I got to give a shout out to my PO, man. She's like the biggest cheerer inside that place for me. Like, every time she comes by, she says, "You're doing amazing. You're doing good. Just keep it up. Just keep doing what you're doing." When I came to her and I was discouraged, I showed her all these, you know, things that I'm doing, trying to get a job over here and over there. Nobody's calling me. She goes, "Don't worry about it. You're gonna be fine. You just keep trying. Don't stop." I'm like, "All right." And when I started doing the social media thing, and she's seen I started getting paid from YouTube again, and I started making money with Freedom. I almost slipped. Freedom Box Info. She started seeing all these things. She's like, you're really doing it. You're doing it without even having a job. You're doing better than people that are come to my office right now, and they've been out for longer than you, and you're doing better than them. You should be proud of yourself. Pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a break. She's pretty good.
What's the URL for Freedom Box?
Freedomboxinfo.com.
Okay, I couldn't get there. Maybe I typed it wrong.
Ken said, "I will never leave a fallen comrade. I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in warrior task and drill. I will always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself." That's right, my brother. That's right. I know that's right. I can't wait to kick it with him, man. When we get off probation, because I don't think we can hang out right now. But when we can, I'm coming to see you, bro. We're gonna kick it. I want some gator. I seen that y'all was making alligator today, so I want some.
So that's actually a good question. What are the restrictions that you face on probation?
I just can't, for me personally, I just can't travel outside of the Northern District without permission. And obviously you can't do drugs, but I don't do drugs anyway, so that kind of works for me. Other than that, I don't have any. I could talk to whoever I want to, but some of the other POs for the other J6s make it to where you can't talk to anybody else. I can. You know, I could talk to whoever I want to. So my restrictions ain't that bad. It's not that bad. I just got no police contact, you know, and if I do, I got to report it. Even if it's just like a traffic ticket, I got to report it. Just the little things like that. Then I got to pay this money to them too. I got to pay them $500 restitution. So that's cool. I'm trying to wait until Trump gets in office to see if he can, when that pardon comes through, if I still got to pay anything. So I'm holding off.
See if Trump put your money back in your stocking for Christmas.
I'm telling you, I'm hoping. I'm praying to God that he does like Joe Biden did and gets a full pardon so I can get this damn felony up off my back, man. Straight up. I pray to God, if anybody has Trump's ear out there, man, tell him, Cash said, please, bro. Please.
Well, that's the nice thing about the plea is, you know, he specifically said the nonviolent protesters will be pardoned. So
I'll take it.
So you kind of alluded to this a little bit, but just to ask the question, what are you going to do once you get off parole?
Everything. Everything. So when I get off probation, man, my goal is to travel. I want to travel. I want to film, talking with people about whatever, uh, life experiences. And I really want to dispel the myth that America is racist. That's something that's like heavy on me, man. So I want to travel to different places and talk to different ethnic groups of people and just ask them the questions of how they feel towards this person or this race as a whole, and just put out as many videos as I possibly can showing how together America actually is, how we're mostly united. You know what I'm saying? It's just a small fragment that they put out there in the news that makes you think that we're just this big divided country, and we all play a part in it, I guess, sometimes when we get angry. But that, and then the main goal is streetlights. I want to build community centers. That's my goal. I want to build community centers across this country. One day I'm going to be a billionaire, y'all. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. God's gonna make it happen. And when I become a billionaire, I promise you this: you're not gonna see me riding around in no Rolls Royces. You're not gonna see me with no overly big mansion. You're not gonna see me wearing flashy stuff and all that shit. No, I'm gonna be a billionaire, and I'm gonna do what billionaires should do. With extra, make sure that everybody has enough. That's what I want to do personally with my money that I earn from capitalism. Okay, I want to use it to help socially. So I want to be a capitalist that's helping socialism, but on a community level, not government. That's the way it should be done. If there's going to be any kind of socialism, it needs to be done only by people that want to. If you want to be a greedy asshole and keep all your money, that's cool with me. That's your right as an American. But me, I want to become a billionaire, and I want to help the world, bro. Like I want to change the world. I want to help every veteran that I see on the streets. I don't want to be like, hey man, here's some money, just go get you a sandwich. No, I want to be like, yo, bro, come on, we're going to buy you one of Elon Musk's boxables, and we're going to buy this land, and this is where you're going to live. That's the shit that I want to do. That's me.
So in retrospect, how do you feel about the whole experience?
It was great. I'm glad it happened. All of it. The good, the bad, the ugly. I'm cool with it. I'm in history, baby. I'm in history. That's how I feel about it. It changed my life for the better. My kids got to see, this is how I look at it. My kids got to see different states. I got to learn some truths about myself and the people that I thought loved me. And I got a fresh start. I got my health. Like I'm fucking built, bro. This shirt makes me look big, but if I take this off, y'all, I'm talking about God body. You feel me? I'm looking good. Everything is great. So yeah, I mean, I don't regret any of it, bro. I'm happy that it happened. I thank God for everything. I thank God that it happened. I thank him for seeing me through it, giving me the strength not to break, when I was in there and crumble underneath the weight of all of the things that I was dealing with. And just to come out still with a smile and a heart for people.
So talk to the audience. What do you want them to know about you and your experience in January 6th? And, but you in particular, like what, if they talk about Cash Kelly, the J6er, what do you want them to say?
That I came home, man, and I told the truth. I could have came home and been a person that was like some of the people that we were locked up with. I could have came home and lied. I could have came home and hit up CNN. I could have came home and hit up NPR. I could have hit up some of these liberal people that want to create a book, right? As the black guy that lived amongst the white supremacists and painted this horrible narrative. I could have made up all kinds of stories and drug people through the mud just to get rich. I could have done that. I could have came home as the Black January 6er and smeared everybody and got paid for interviews to down these guys. But instead, I'm like, fuck that. I'm standing on the truth. These are my brothers. And even if I don't like some of them because of the way that they acted inside of the pod, it's still love. You know what I'm saying? It's still love. It's like fuck some of them, but I love you kind of deal. You know, it's like that. And even that, like I haven't smeared the people that I could smear as a J6er, right? Putting them out there. I ain't did that yet. It's still coming because the truth needs to come out about a lot of stuff. But I haven't done it yet because they still facing shit. There's a lot of people that are still going through some things. So I haven't put it all the way, you know. But when they think about Cash, I want them to think about, yo, he came home and he did the right thing and he stayed true to his word to them brothers. Because I told him I was going to come home and talk about him. I told him I was going to try to tell the truth and let these people know that they lied on him. They not no damn white supremacists. They're good dudes, you know. So that's what I want you to think about. Cash is a man of integrity. You know, I'm a man that no matter what, I'm going to tell you exactly what I feel, what it is, what's the truth. And stand on that, you know. That's it.
So we got a couple of minutes left, and obviously it's the Christmas season, and your mission and your passion for your community and helping people obviously is just so core to who you are. I want to make sure that we do this justice and talk about it. So can you go through the Christmas thing one more time and
Yes.
you know, so people can help you out and make a difference in some lives this
Yeah.
Christmas season?
So do you got the link up? Yeah, that's the link right there. So you guys obviously, I don't think you would click it from there, but if you want to write it down, it's givebutter.com/Y2LSSA, spelled like that. I'll share the link in the description after this video. If you're on my YouTube, I'm sure you already have seen the link. My moderators do a pretty good job of posting that in the description, in the link in the chat box. So what I'm doing, I'm trying to give back, man. However I could. It's families out here that struggle for the holidays. I'm doing what I can, man. That's really all it is. I'm just a bridge. So you go to that website right there, it'll take you. It's tax deductible, you know, it's 501c3. You could claim it. And we just helping kids have Christmas. That's really, really what it comes down to. Is simple. Underprivileged families that maybe are struggling and Bidenomics crushed the shit out of them. We trying to help them out. It's that simple, you know. I ain't got really too much of a spiel. My mind's in a whole different kind of place. Talking about January 6th and then going to this. But yeah, that's what it is, you guys. That's it. We're donating to help kids have Christmas. Help some families. Also, where it's going to be for some meals, you know. Help these families have meals. Make sure they got food on the table on Christmas Day. That's what it's about.
I can't make it easy on you.
No, you cannot. There it is. That's the link.
All right, so I'm going to ask you about streetlights. Let me give you a second, though. Make sure you're following Cash on. Here's his Instagram. Here is his Facebook. I don't know if we have your YouTube in here, but
It's the same thing. Yeah,
and then
Cash Kelly one on YouTube.
and then this is the X one. Is this the same for X and YouTube?
No, YouTube, you drop the Lee, so it'll just be Cash Kelly one.
Okay, Cash Kelly one. Okay. And then all right, so Streetlights Unity Movement. Since someone asked about that, I want to make sure we hit that too.
All right, Streetlights Unity Movement again is it's a 501c3 that we create. I'm a founder of. It's geared towards keeping kids out the streets, away from gangs, away from drugs, just helping community, you know, overall, helping community and providing what we can for them. It's simple. You know, I got a heart for the streets because that's where I come from. You know, I come from that. I come from poverty. I come from a rough upbringing. I come from gangs. I come from drugs. I come from all of that. So it's my mission and my heart, you know, to make sure that kids got the things that I wish I would have had growing up, you know, kind of like a mentor, and to see somebody like me doing something like this and using my platform in a way that's beneficial for the kids in the community, and not just the kids, even the family. Like, I want this thing to branch out even more. Like I said, I want to change the world. I want to help veterans. That's another thing that's near and dear to me. So eventually I want to branch this thing out for that, you know. But right now, Streetlights Unity Movement is all about giving back to the community and helping these kids stay on the right path instead of the path that I went down.
Excellent. Yeah, so This was great, man. This was awesome. Emotional stuff. Thanks for going through it. I mean, I feel taxed. I can't even imagine how you feel. So
Yeah, I'm like lips all dry. I look like about to crack up on the on the screen. But I also want to throw out there for everybody that's watching, if you would like to support me personally, right? We got the merch store, awakenotwokestore.com. You can get you some merch there to where you're just not giving and not getting nothing in return. Awakenotwokestore.com, right there.
it's on the screen. Yep.
Enter truth at checkout and you'll get 20% off. All right. Now, if you're like, yo, Cash, I just want to look out for you, the moderators put all of that stuff in the chat, not required. If you can't do none of that, if you can't donate to Streetlights, if you don't want to buy a shirt, and if you can't do nothing for the channel, you could still do something for the channel. You could subscribe to my YouTube right now and you could share this video out. All right. That helps. You might not think it does, but it does. Every single person that hits that like button, it counts in the algorithm, and it's a couple pennies. It might not be nothing, but a whole bunch of people doing it, it's something. This is why I create content. So if you can't give, don't worry about that. One day God's going to bless you so much that you're going to be able to give to a whole bunch of people, right? But you can't give me that share button. You could do that for your boy right now. All right. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I was going to say the same thing here. So, so we got the Awake Not Woke store right there. We got freedomboxinfo.com right there. And then, like I said, if you have the opportunity to give, this is what Cash does. Please hit him up and send some money his way. He's feeding a family. It'd be a very nice thing for you to do this Christmas season to, bless Cash and his family. And the Cash app is up there on the screen with his.
That's a very long
app.
Cash app, bro. I wasn't thinking when I made that. I was really young when I made that. I just put my whole birth date up there. Somebody could steal my identity. That's all. It's my birthday, bro. 11/11/1988. That's stupid. Shouldn't do that. Don't ever do that, guys.
So that's up there, yeah. So all right. So for us, follow me, follow Terry. Basic deactivated right now, and then Mini Free is my son, and he helps with the tech side on this. And I wanted to also mention, again, let's never forget Ashley Babbitt and Roseanne Boyland. I wanted to say that one more time because, it's, as Cash said, some people came out of this with, not nearly as affected as those families have been. So just a horrible tragedy for many, but specifically for them. Yeah. And then I also want to point out, here's my list of who I would like to see freed or pardoned or both. So the J6ers are obviously on here. Dexter Taylor, we don't talk about nearly enough. Dexter Taylor needs to be, that's a state one. So Trump can't pardon him, but love to see Dexter Taylor out of jail. Rough holiday for his family. So, but yeah, that's my list. And so thank you all so much for, being with us. Cash, thank you for sharing so much. I learned a lot, and this was great.
All love, man. I appreciate everybody watching, bro. I appreciate doing shows with you. It's like, this is my favorite day, just so you know. Mondays are my favorite days now, and everybody hates Mondays, but you made me like Mondays because we do a show now. So that's awesome.
I get excited like Saturday. And like all day yesterday, I was working on questions during football. I kept on missing what was going on because I'm like knee deep in my questions. Like, what happened? So I'm so excited. I was distracted away from pre-playoff football. So
yeah, that'll do it. I'm glad we got.
All right, brother.
God
Thanks
bless
again,
you,
everybody. Have a great night. See you next Monday. Well, for my stream, I'll be back Thursday with Mike Decentralized, and then game show as well this week. So talk to you all then.
Every day, y'all. Every day I'm on here. Every day, come see me.
All right. Good night, y'all.